Hey everyone, here we go with a quick update. As you can see, I've got my glass pretty much all cleaned off. I think that might not have necessarily been a diatom bloom. I think that it might have actually been a lot of it, the dust from when I originally put the moss inside the, not moss, the sand inside the sump tank. Look who's out in the daytime. How good you can see him. This is with full light on too. I can't really get a good shot of him. It really sucks, but it's a bristleworm out. And here's my shrimp, of course. He's interested in everything I do. He's pretty cool. He climbs up on your hand and everything else. He's an awesome shrimp. He would feed right out of your hand with no problem. But everything is looking good. There's the chromies. Only got 2 of them at the moment. So they're looking cool. The again, the coralline is really growing. There's really no way of actually showing it with the way the lights are on, but it's actually growing really good. My weird green things are still there. Those crazy stems. Took some time to zoom, huh? Yeah, those goofy looking things. I've seen pictures of these though when they're in groups. They actually look really cool when they're in groups. Yeah, it's the fire shrimp, I believe. Oh no, it's not the fire shrimp, that's a skunk. Back there. He follows me wherever I go. But I mean, as you can see, everything is looking good. The rock has got its color going. The cyano, as you can see, is not as bad as it was. It's actually slowly coming out of there. It's like in some little patches, but nothing like it was. So I'm gonna probably take like a little siphon vacuum and just pull it up out of the sand a little bit, just right off the top. That way I don't actually disturb the sand too much. As you can see, all that white dust, that's all coralline growing. So as that coralline grows, it'll look pretty good. I've been using purple up, so I think it's actually doing this tank a lot of good. I was kind of skeptical at first, reading different reviews and whatnot, but you know how that goes. What might work for somebody might not work for somebody else. So I figured, what the hell, I'm going to go ahead and try it. All that white right there is coralline algae coming in. Just so you see. That rock is going to be caked in it. That was pretty much one of those rocks that didn't have really anything on it, but you can see all the colors. It was just an actual white rock when I got it. And this one here, you can see all the white, which is the same thing. A lot of coralline is going to be coming out on there. And of course you got your greens up there, which are pretty cool. If it would turn all that green like that, that'd be great. I'd love that. It's just a really neat looking green. Alright, another thing that I did, I went ahead and decided to take my little 5-gallon and put some sand in there, the argonite, and just for the hell of it, I'm going to try some brine shrimp eggs. Already got them in there. They're itty bitty tiny little black dots. I don't know if this thing will zoom that far in or not. But all that tiny little black specky stuff up on the top there is the brine shrimp eggs. So I'm going to try it just to see. My clowns are finicky for some reason. They're not wanting to eat Mrs. Shrimp. I have no idea why. So I've even tried chopping them up and whatnot. They don't seem to mind the brine. But I figured, you know, why not? I've already got another tank here, so I may as well screw around with it. And I'll see if I can raise these little guys. If I can raise them, then I mean that's food for everybody else, not just them, but for the guppy tanks and all the freshwater tanks. They can eat them as well if it becomes like an abundant thing. But anyways, that's the update. I've been running the reverse photosynthesis. As you can see, the lights are out in the sump and the lights are on in the tank. So I run an opposite lighting system as far as tank to refugium. That way, once I get the Chaeto, which maybe I get it today, I can put it down in that sump tank and get some of that back algae back there out of there. As you can see, the snails that I put in here, I mean, they've gone to town on this stuff. But like I said, I think a lot of that brown was the dust from the original, I mean, when I had actually put the sand down in the sump tank. That kind of makes a lot of sense because it did cloud up the water. And if there was any form of like clear algae on the tank, like right here you can see kind of a little haze thing, that's not cyano, that's just like a little colony of whatever growing right there on the glass of the tank. So I'm thinking the sand particles might have actually stuck to it and just created such a mess that it made it look like it. I mean, because it makes sense, the color, so. But the power head cleared up. So, and you can see my overflow box, they've really cleaned it up. They're just taking big chunks and chunks out of it. So it's like virtually spotless. The silicone, look at, you can actually see through the silicone. There's a little spot right here they missed, but then it continues down. So I mean, they've been doing their job, they're working. So I had to save this snail's butt this morning. He was down in the very bottom of the tank, and our hermit came along and was trying to pick him off the glass. He was just sitting right down in here. Luckily I was there to see him, because it's the same one that ended up climbing into a bigger shell, but he never climbed into any of the turbo snails that he killed. So I had to save that that snail, because that's what he was planning on doing. He was just going to kill it, eat it, or do whatever he was wanting to do with it, and then after that, that would have been it. He wouldn't have used the shell for nothing, because he already has a big shell. So enough of him. Anyways, that's the current update. There's my awesome looking skunk shrimp. Very friendly creatures. If you don't have one, I recommend getting one. They are just like so cool. Like I said, they climb up on you, they eat out of your hand. Just a really cool little thing. I feed him out of an eyedropper, and he climbs up on the eyedropper and stuff. He's pretty neat. His fire shrimp will do that, but he's a little more skittish when it comes to stuff. He'll come out and whatnot, but most people complain that they stay in the back. As you can see, mine don't really stay in the back. He just kind of stays under the rock. But I mean, they like the dark, so it's explanatory why he's underneath like he is. But he's molted 3 times, and this guy up there has molted 2 times so far. So it's a good thing. There's the bristle star. He still hasn't come out of the rock yet, but you can see he's cool. I like the color of him. But his body's inside that cave there somewhere. He's been there since day 1 when I got the actual live rock. So it's pretty amazing, some of the creatures that I have in here. Alright, but anyways, that's the update. Time to get out of here. Alright, thanks for watching. Any comments? Subscribe, critique. Have a good day.